And welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Budapest here on Saturday. I hope everybody has had a great start to their weekend. Hi, Puranjay. Hi, Pavan. Hi, Daniil. Rodrigo, good to see a new member. Make sure to send me an email so I can send you your perks. This is a members chat class. We will have an all chat class following this lesson in about 90 minutes. This class is speaking part 2, cue card, the long answer. And part 3, the next class, will be connected to the topic of this class. So for those students who can, make sure to participate in both classes. While we wait for some more of our members to join in, this lesson is brought to you by our world-class online IELTS preparation web portal, aehelp.com, for academic IELTS. That's academicenglishhelp.com is the long version of that URL. And for the general version, it's gieltshelp.com or generalieltshelp.com. Make sure to check us out there. Hi, Shanghung. Hi, Zainab. Hi, Alexander and Kesey. Good to see more members joining in. Our websites look like this. This is the academic here with the blue background. You can click that button if you're already a member and get into your student account, or if you're not, then click that red button there to become a premium member of our academic website. For the general, it's similar layout, except it's a green background. Make sure you're clear on which version of the exam you need to do. That's very, very important as a first step. This is for the general IELTS students who are looking for immigration and visa documents. Go to this website here, click that red button to start your preparation there. Okay. All right, Paranjay, I can see you're sharing your IELTS experience with the group. That's great. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. All right, so let's get back to point here. If you have questions, students, make sure to send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. You can contact me there. Hi, Birendra. So again, today we're going to get into some speaking part 2, a cue card example. I will explain how you can get a high score on this. And then afterwards, we will have a speaking part 3 where everybody can join the chat. As usual, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, no live IELTS. Of course, you can come to our channel or go to the website and study from lots and lots of materials and videos. And then I am back on the 6th with speaking part 1 at 15 o'clock Central European time. Okay. All right. So let's get into part 2. Just a quick refresher. Members, what is the first step to achieving success, or we could say a high band, on your part 2 cue card in the speaking? So when the examiner finishes with part 1, that's about 4 or 5 minutes into the interview, they will say, that is the end of part 1. Now for part 2, here is a card with some questions. Here's some note paper and a pencil. You will have 1 minute to think about your answers. Take notes if you wish. And then you will have 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. You take your card, you turn it over, and you begin preparing. What is your first step? Always. What's your first step? And this is very important because this is where a lot of students, interestingly, tend to make mistakes and lose a band score or two right off the bat. Yeah, so Shanghung says, read the question carefully. Now, it sounds like I'm, being a little bit oversimplistic, but I've noticed that a lot of students do misread the question. So, especially the first sentence that introduces the topic and main controlling idea. Okay, so let's do that. So, here's our card for today. Talk about an idea you had to make your life better. Okay, so that is our first sentence, and we're going to pay careful attention to that. So we will be talking about an idea that you had to make your life better. All right, here are the detailed questions. What is the idea? When and where did this idea come from? What do or did you need to make this idea a reality? Why will this make your life better? And how long will this take? Okay, quite a few questions there. When you're really paying attention, you'll notice that you have to talk about the idea. So that's one question. When is the time? So that's the second question. Where is the location? So where were you? What do or did you need? That's actually one question, right? Could be present or past tense. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Why will this make your life better? 5. And how long will this take? 6. So there's 6 questions there that you need to really pay attention to and make sure that you give a clear answer for. Okay, so definitely read the question carefully. All right, great. So I'm happy that Zainab, you got that. Barendra, you got that. Yep. Students often rush reading the question and they miss some important parts. If you do not answer all the questions on the card, you cannot get full marks. So what's your second step? So you've read the question carefully. You've noticed that, okay, here we have 6 questions that I have to pay attention to. I need to make sure that I answer each one of these. Then what's your second step? What is your second step? So Satisfying Times, good to see you, Chabi, in the class, says, make a list of your topics. Hi, Roshni. Even before that, okay, just one step before that, Kisi says it's an event. Kind of. I like to separate this one, Kisi, from event, person, place, or object. I do like to identify idea as kind of a 5th category, and I think it's a good idea. Because it is unique. It is a little bit different. Events are real occurrences. Ideas become real occurrences, but they're not tangible. They're abstract in some ways. So it's an idea. When you talk about an idea, what do you think is important to include? So what are the main concepts that you have to include when you discuss an idea? Okay. So we've determined, Zainab, that it's an idea that we're talking about here. What do you think is important to tell the audience or listener to clarify information about an idea? Okay. Preeti says some kind of a personal experience coming from your own thought. So Preeti and Cheng Hung, what you're thinking of is the origin. Okay, the origin of the idea. That's relevant to this question. Where did this idea come from? Okay. Daniil says the importance of the idea. Yeah. So the origin of the idea, its significance. It's a nice way to say it. So the origin, its significance. What else? Okay. So Satisfying Times, Chabi, good. Zainab, very good. So Zainab says the word realistic. Okay. Now, Zainab, the way we can say that is the manifestation. Okay. Do you know this word manifestation? Manifestation means the real observable implementation of the idea. So how we can actually see the idea in reality. Okay. Okay, so it's the idea as observed in reality. Preeti, that's another way to think about it, is the action, right? So when the idea is put into action. That's right, Preeti. So it's the manifestation. The word manifestation is used when you have something abstract, something that we cannot touch, like an idea, and then it becomes a reality. Okay? That's the manifestation of the idea. So we have the origin, the significance, the manifestation, the time. Okay? Time of the idea is very important as well. So when you think about the time of the idea, think about two. The time of the idea when it was born. We say that ideas are born. So the idea is born, and then the idea manifests. It means it becomes reality. So the execution of the idea. Okay? And there's one more. Okay? There's one more very, very important one. Chabi, you're on the right track. Barendra, very good. That's what we're looking for. The outcome, the results. Yes, absolutely. So students, make sure that you're speaking and you are repeating. Whether you're a member or not, make sure that you are repeating and speaking and writing down new words. So if manifestation is a new word, or manifest is a new word for you, add it to your vocabulary list. Zainab, challenges, yes, it's optional. So you may or may not have challenges with the idea. It's possible to include that, okay? That's part of the execution as well. Results is the one that you must include, certainly. Okay, so these are what we need to think about when we have an idea, okay? So the origin, significance, manifestation, time, execution. There's one more that I forgot. I'm just going to add it in here. Requirements. It's a very important one. Requirements and results. Requirements, of course, are what you need. So ideas, most of the time, require certain components to become reality. Sometimes it requires money, it requires time, effort, maybe certain types of tools. So those are the requirements. So that's what you need to think about. Origin, significance, manifestation, time of the idea, execution of that time, requirements, and results, okay? That's what you need to think about, right? Zainab, challenges is a good idea. Challenges is somewhat a part of the requirements, okay? All right, so we've thought about all that. Now comes the third step, which many of you have mentioned as the second step, which is think of 2 to 3 good possible answers and choose the best one. Original and easy, right? So let's do that now. Talk about, and you don't need to focus on too much of this, just this for the third step. So talk about an idea you had to make your life better. Okay, give me some ideas, members. What are some ideas? No, Paranjay. So Paranjay, you're thinking about that past, present, future PPF. That technique only works for some of the questions, less than more, okay, Paranjay? So be careful with that past, present, and future. That only works for some questions, okay? Yvonne, very good, okay? So Yvonne says studying abroad. Very good. That is a very clever idea, Yvonne, okay? Chabi says creating a commercial for a website. It's very specific. Taking the IELTS, learning English, starting a company. Okay, starting a company is very complex, so I probably wouldn't choose that. Start a company. Take IELTS. Okay. Sure. Preeti says reducing weight. Preeti, say that in a little bit of a better way. I would say fitness. Okay, improving fitness. Improving fitness gives you more opportunities to express yourself, Preeti, than just looking at it from the idea of reducing weight. Because improving fitness can be reducing weight, increasing strength, so endurance. So there's more components that you can discuss. So Paranja, it's the same idea, right? Improving fitness includes working out. Chabi, choosing a life partner is also very difficult. So careful, Chabi, not to choose topics that can be quite tricky to express, even in one's own language. So if I were to discuss an idea that I had to make my life better by choosing a life partner in English, it would take me quite a bit of thinking and contemplation to express that clearly. So be careful, Chabi, not to overstretch yourself in part 2. Okay. Joanne says improving career. Okay. Joanne, improving career is very broad. Okay. What do you mean improving career? So that's a little bit different. Okay, Shang Hung says becoming a vegetarian. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Exactly. And this is why you need to be focused, students, is because choosing the right idea can make a really big difference in the overall result of your speaking section, especially because part 3, remember, is connected to part 2. So if you have a really good idea like becoming a vegetarian or studying abroad, these are specific, but not too specific, unique. This is even more unique than this one. This could be fairly easy to talk about as well. This one could be easy to talk about. So these two ideas can really help you to get a higher band score in your cue card and give better answers once you get to your part 3 questions. Okay. Preeti, there you go. So learning to swim. Yeah, that's a very good one as well. Now you're coming up with some nice ones. Learning to swim, if you don't already know how, is a very good idea. Chabi says playing the lottery. Possibly, Chabi. Playing the lottery could be. It's ambitious, but Barendra says earning lots of money, but Barendra, how? So earning lots of money is too broad. You would get lost trying to express that. Okay, so far we have some good ones here. So studying abroad, very good. Starting a company, too broad, very challenging. You would probably get lost during the 2 minutes trying to express this clearly. Taking the IELTS is a very good one. It's specific. You know exactly why you're doing it. You know the results. You know the requirements. So this could be very clever, very good. Improving fitness could also be very good. It's probably one of the most popular ones. I think a lot of candidates would come up with this idea to improve fitness in some way. They might say exercise, they might say diet, but focusing on improving fitness. So I would probably avoid that just because I think it might be a very popular answer. Improving career, again, you're still stuck for ideas. Improving career will not help you because, of course, your next question is how. How would you improve your career? This is not really a specific idea. Becoming a vegetarian is very clear. It's a very good one. And learning to swim is a very good one. So let's number these. And then let's take a vote, and we'll take the one that most of you vote on, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can already kind of predict the numbers, so put in your votes while I'm doing this, and then I can check which one is the most popular, and we'll go with that one. Okay, now obviously here we've come up with 6. In the real exam, you don't need this many. This is just for practice. In the real exam, come up with 2 to 3 good ideas. Just make sure they're good ideas. Okay? So Paranjay says, let's do 1. Ivan says 1. Pavan says 1. Daniil says 1. It looks like 1 is very popular. Yeah, studying abroad. Sure, yeah, that's a very, very popular one, obviously, because I think many of you are doing that. So why not use your real life scenario, okay? Shang Hung, you're giving us, I think, a list of what would be the easiest to talk about, and that's good. You can try those ones later. I can see that some of you are going with number 3. Kisi, learning to swim. Yeah, that could be a very good one as well. Although the requirements, so discussing what you need to learn to swim, that could be a little bit tricky. So careful. All right, 7 is becoming a vegetarian. That's a clever one, I think, also. For number 7, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 votes. For number 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes so far. So let's do number 1, studying abroad. Okay, so next step, make some notes. Okay. So step number 4, write down useful notes. Okay, so let's do that now, and we've chosen studying abroad. Okay, good. So give me your notes, students. Again, let's review the card. So talk about an idea you had to make your life better. What is the idea? When and where did this idea come from? What do or did you need to make this idea a reality? Why will this make your life better, and how long will this take? So let's take down some notes. Just give me your notes, okay? Be specific, Ivan. So name the university. Okay. Be specific, Ivan. Tell me the amount of money that you need. Okay. Tell me the year that you're traveling, Chabi. So don't just give me the idea, give me the specific information. Okay. That's very important. Okay. Pavan says University of Toronto. Okay. Sure. Okay, give me exactly, Pavan. So Ivan says 12,000 CAD per year. Okay, use your short form in your notes, 12,000 Canadian dollars per year. Yeah, very good. Chabi says came up with it in 2012. Okay. Added a little bit more there. All right. What other notes? So based on these questions, what other notes would make sense to add to your paper? Now, students, what I recommend is write at least one note for each of these questions here. So especially these last ones, when and where. Okay, so when we said July, did I write? July 2012. Where did the idea come from? So make sure that you speak about that. So where? Okay, what would be a good note for where? Increasing experience, Roshni, is be more specific. Increasing experience is not specific enough. That's already in your head. Okay, so Preeti says, from my uncle. Yeah. Okay. So that's good. From uncle. Good. Puranjay says, from my friend's family. Name your friend. Name your uncle. We're going to call him Uncle Bob. Okay. He's the dentist. Uncle Bob the dentist. Okay. All right. Chabi, you said higher education level. Give me the degree. Tell me the exact degree, Chabi. Okay. Master's in business. Doctorate in psychology. So give me the exact. Be specific with your notes, students. That will be much more useful. That's why here at the beginning I said write down useful notes. Useful notes means specifics that you can use in your sentences when you look at the paper. Okay. Puranjay says master's in agriculture, focusing on master's in production engineering. Okay, good. So Puranjay says production engineering. Okay, and it's because it's needed in your country. Okay. All right, good. Sheng Hung says, my Uncle Bob prepared the IELTS in 8 months to get the required band score. Okay, Sheng Hung, you're going off topic a little bit, but we can use that. So what do you need, right? So that's 12,000 a year Canadian. IELTS band 7. Okay, so we can add that there. Okay. Yvonne says 3 years work opportunity in Canada. Okay. Sure. Okay, remember, keep your notes short. You don't need to write so long. All right. So we have when, where, we have what do we need to make it a reality. Why will this make your life better? How long will it take? These last two, give me a couple of quick notes for this one, and then we'll begin soon after. Of course, we have to come up with our first sentence still. So why will this make your life better? How long will this take? Give me a couple more quick notes. Roshni, increasing quality of life is again too general. Give me a specific piece of information, Roshni, like $100,000 annual salary, big house or 5-bedroom house, Mercedes. So give me something tangible, Roshni, something that we can use. Okay, Joanne, same thing. Work less, make money is too general. You can think about that on the fly when you're going. Kisi, get a promotion is still too general. What position? So senior management position at Samsung, okay, or some company that you're working for. So give me the specific information. Students, always specific information so that you can use it in your speaking when you look at your notes. Okay, you're not just writing the notes to get ideas. You're writing the notes so that you can use it in the 2 minutes. Okay. So Yvonne says 4,000 Canadian monthly salary. Sure. All right. Puranjay says get a job at Airbus in 3 to 5 years. Very good. So that's exactly what we need. That kind of note. Okay. So in 3 to 5 years, Airbus, okay, 100K annual salary, okay? So that would be good, okay? Buy house, car, okay? Mercedes, okay, luxury car, all right? So that's what you need. Okay, good. Yeah, be ambitious. Okay, Pavan, you're expressing yourself in too much specifics. These are just notes. So let's take a look, okay? So this is about what you should be able to produce in the 1 minute note-taking time. University of Toronto, $12,000 a year, IELTS band 7, July 2012, grad, that's when we came up with the idea, right? From my uncle Bob, who's a dentist, master's in production engineering. It's a needed position, 3 years working in Canada afterwards, 3 to 5 years to achieve this. We can work for Airbus, get $100K each month. Then we can buy a house. So you see how all the pieces are coming together. And then, of course, we have our final step, which is very important, and that is to come up with our first sentence in the 1 minute. Why is it important to come up with the first sentence in the 1 minute? Preparation time. Okay. Why is that important? This is an important review to answer this question of mine. Okay, good answer, Roshni. So Roshni says to make sure that you're using all of your time effectively. Yeah, one of the very common, not mistakes, but weaknesses that I see when candidates do the speaking section of the exam is the examiner says, okay, your 1 minute preparation time is up, please begin speaking. And then the student's kind of like, thank you for giving me this opportunity to, and they waste the first 15, 20 seconds basically saying nothing, okay? 20 seconds of 1.5 to 2 minutes is a very significant percentage of your time, and you need to use that effectively, okay? Preeti says, so we can start smoothly and get into our ideas. Absolutely. So to be time effective and accurate, okay? When you have your first sentence ready, you also become accurate, all right? So let's start. Give me the first sentence. So here it is. The first sentence always responds to this first statement. Talk about an idea you had to make your life better. In fact, they ask that twice. So this is already, quote unquote, your question. And then here is the question very directly. What is the idea? Okay. So you need to answer that very directly. Make it very clear for the examiner that you're not going to try to use template sentences like, I have had many different ideas in my life to live better, and I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about these one idea, especially that and it's like, whoa, just tell me the idea, okay? All right. And I'm dramatic like that because I see that all the time, and it's really frustrating. It's like, when the 10th student is like, thank you for giving me an idea. I've had many ideas. It's like, okay, so let's do it right. Chabi says, a life-changing thought for me was deciding in July 2012 to study abroad, specifically at the University of Toronto. Satisfying times. That is a beautiful first sentence, okay? Roshni says, I had a decision to study abroad in Toronto University. That was good, Roshni, in 2012. That was good. It was a good first sentence. I don't know why you took it back, but it's okay. It was a good one, Roshni. Shanghung says, the idea coming from my Uncle Bob is studying abroad to get higher education. It's not bad, Shanghung. I think it's a little bit awkward to start with where an idea came from before we know what the idea is. So I wouldn't do that. It's possible, but I wouldn't recommend it, Shanghung. I think it's a bit awkward, okay? I know what you're doing, Shanghung. You're trying to be unique taking a different approach. And it's good to experiment. I encourage that. So other members also watching, try to experiment. You don't have to follow the exact pattern. Okay. Pavan says, I decided to study abroad in the University of Toronto during my early undergraduate studies. Yeah, Pavan, that's good. You're on the right track as well. So I'll take any one of those because they're all very good for the most part, for sure. So time is a good one to start with, Shanghung. Time is good when you had the idea. Okay, so back in 2012, when I was finishing my undergraduate degree in engineering, why not? I had a thought to study at Toronto University later on in order to improve my future life. Okay, don't forget the specifics of the question, right? The question is, talk about an idea you had to make your life better. Okay. Welcome aboard, June. Good to have you as a member. Make sure to send me an email. Okay. So keep this one in mind here, to make your life better. Okay. Make sure you include that. You want the examiner to know right away that you respect and recognize that detail in the question. So again, speak and repeat, students. So back in 2012, when I was finishing my undergraduate degree in engineering, I had a thought to study at Toronto University later on in order to improve my future life. Okay, great. So, Raghu says, around 2 months ago in September, I decided to take the IELTS exam as the first step in the process to attaining a PR to Canada. Okay, Raghu, you're kind of off on your own tangent, which is okay, but for this class, Raghu, let's just all focus on the same information so that we have consensus on learning this structure and vocabulary, okay? Preeti says, a decision I took to study abroad in January 2018 at Toronto University is one idea I had recently to make my life better. So that's how you want to finish that, Preeti, okay? So again, recognize that important part of the question, making your life better, okay? Zainab, the decision I had made in 2012 was to enroll in the University of Toronto, which has been a major positive in my life, period. Okay? Zainab, watch your grammar a little bit. Okay, careful with your word choice. Daniil says, the idea of moving to Canada as a student came to my mind last year when I saw a great advertisement of British Columbia University for foreigners, and I really started to think it would help me in becoming a great programmer. Okay, good, sure. All right, so students, again, I know we all want to express our own unique contexts of studying at the University of British Columbia or getting a permanent residency visa to Canada, but for the sake of practice, let's all work to focus on this same information here. It will work better. We won't get lost, okay? All right, so good. So that's my first sentence. How can I continue? Keep going. So back in 2012, when I was finishing my undergraduate degree in engineering, I had a thought to study. Let's make the year a little bit closer to present. I think we're too far back. Let's go to 2018, okay? In order to improve my future life. Okay, let's keep going with it. We can use our notes It's absolutely a good idea during your 2-minute speaking time to look at your notes, to look at the card and use it, okay? When the examiner sees you looking at your notes and looking at the card, that's a good thing. They realize that you're thinking and putting together information, not vocabulary so much or your English, but your ideas. And that's what a native expert level speaker would do as well. Okay. Okay, so Chabi says the idea came from my uncle who studied at the same university, and he told me a lot about it. Very good, satisfying times. That's what I was hoping you would build from that. Not grandfather, uncle, who's a dentist, okay? The idea came from my uncle. Name your uncle. My uncle, did we say Uncle Bob? Yeah. Okay, my Uncle Bob, who also studied at Toronto University and is now a very successful dentist. He told me many great stories about the school and really inspired me to pursue my graduate degree abroad. Okay, very good. All right. Okay, nice. Yeah, so we talked about the idea, we talked about when, now we're talking about where it came from. Very good. Okay. Roshni says, one of my uncles suggested to have a matriculation in foreign schools because he had experienced teaching abroad and had many positive stories to share with me. Good. So Roshni, you're on the right track as well. Shang Hung says, I had this idea because my Uncle Bob came to my home to visit my parents and shared his impressive life in Canada. Very good, Shang Hung. That's exactly what we are doing. Great. Pavan, well, my Uncle Bob, who is an explorer, did suggest to me about the provinces and opportunities, and I took over and researched much about it and decided on the University of Toronto for my major in engineering. Right, Pavan? Very good. Okay, nicely done, students. Great. So far, so good. Looking at this, at these notes. Okay, again, so University of Toronto, check. 12K CAD, IELTS Band 7. That might be a good one for our next point. Okay. July 2018 grad, Uncle Bob Dentist, check, check. Okay. So give me some more information. Continue from there. Okay. Give me the next piece. You're doing a fantastic job so far. Okay. Barendra, I'm not sure why you're raising a finger. I don't know what you're trying to indicate by that. Kisi says, my professor suggested me to get a worldly education. Kisi, it's worldly education. Using world as an adjective, Kisi, W-O-R-L-D-L-Y. Worldly education would help me broaden my eyes, okay? And make do better research. I got the idea and decided to apply to university. Good, Kisi. Everybody, again, let's stick with the original plan here. So Uncle Bob, okay? Preeti, Uncle Tom. Okay, Preeti says, I got this idea from Uncle Tom, who also studied at Toronto University, and he told me about helping the behavior of teachers so I won't feel trouble with my studies. I'm not, oh, I see what you're saying, Preeti. Careful. Okay, and he told me that the teachers are very helpful, so I will be successful in my studies. Okay. So Chabi says, as a first step to make this happen, I needed to get band 7 on the IELTS exam. Okay, and we're at the IELTS exam right now. Maybe that's the reason. So we might want to use present tense there, Chabi. Okay, so as a first step to make this happen, I need to get a band 7 in the IELTS exam, as it is mentioned on the university website. Okay, good. Barendra says, I have been trying to study at Toronto University. Okay, Barendra, let's stay with the same topic. Okay. Okay, Paranja, you're going step by step. That's good. Okay, Zainab says, the idea came from my uncle when he returned to Saudi Arabia after he finished his master's, and he shared his successful experiences in Canada. Okay, good, Zainab, that's good for the previous part. Okay, Shangheng says, to study abroad, it requires a band score 7 in the IELTS exam and about 12,000 Canadian per year, including it's not life fees, Shangheng, my sustenance needs. There's another way to express it. I'll come up with it in a second, Shangheng, but it's not life fees. My living expenses, Shangheng. It's called your living expenses. So I need to save money to afford my expenses in Canada or apply for scholarships, right, Shangheng? Very good. Yvonne says it is very expensive studying there, about $12,000 per year. Fortunately, my parents have this to pay for my courses. However, I also do need to get a band 7 on the IELTS exam. Good. Okay, students doing a great job. So in order to make my dream a reality and create a brighter future for myself, notice what I'm doing here is I'm again coming back to that main controlling idea. It's a smart, clever move to come back a couple of times during the 2 minutes to that idea and paraphrase if you can. So in order to make my dream a reality and create a brighter future for myself, I need about $12,000 per year for tuition and living expenses, as well as a student visa and a band 7 on the IELTS exam. Okay, really nice. Nice work. Kisi says there are lots of requirements to apply to this university, such as an IELTS overall band score of 7 with no less than 6 band in each section. Yet, Kisi, it's not bad. So, of course, you need a lot of different elements. You need a valid passport for 5 years so you can really get into details, but careful not to get lost in details. Okay, so far, so good. Okay, Preeti says, for my bright future, I need to get 7 band in IELTS in every module so that I'm eligible for a PhD in psychology. Okay, students, again, remember, we're talking about production engineering. Okay. All right, so now we still have some more notes here. We have Masters in Production Engineering. It's a high demand diploma. You can work for 3 years in Canada with this. You can do it in 3 to 5 years. You can work for Airbus, 100,000 annually, which will create a bright future where you can buy a large family home and a luxury car like a Mercedes. Write your sentences, members. I'm going to do the same just so we can really nicely complete our response. Okay? So once I have met all of these requirements and began my studies at Toronto University in a master's program, specifically master's in production engineering. It will take about 2 years to complete my degree and another year of apprenticeship. After that, since this degree is in high demand, I can likely get a very high-paying job, around $100,000 per year at a company like Airbus. In this way, I can afford to raise a family, buy a nice 4-bedroom family home, and even a luxury car like a Mercedes. Therefore, I truly believe that one of the best ideas that I've had as of late is to pursue my education abroad in Canada at Toronto University. Okay. So as you can see, basically what I did there is I grabbed all of those notes that we had outstanding and I put it into the remainder of the speaking, making sure that I answer all of the questions on the card. It's really, really, really important that you do that, okay? Make sure to answer all the questions on the card. Okay, members, let's go over this together. So let's speak and repeat. Let's make sure it makes sense. We haven't completely lost our marbles and gone off our rocker. Here we go. So speak and repeat with me. Back in 2018, when I was finishing my undergraduate degree in engineering, I had a thought to study at Toronto University later on in order to improve my future life. The idea came from my uncle Bob, who also studied at Toronto University and is now a very successful dentist. He told me many great stories about the school and really inspired me to pursue my graduate degree abroad. In order to make my dream a reality and create a brighter future for myself, I need about $12,000 per year for tuition and living expenses, as well as a student visa and a Band 7 on the IELTS exam. Once I have met all of these requirements and began my studies at Toronto University in a master's program, specifically Master's in Production Engineering, it will take about 2 years to complete my degree and another year of apprenticeship. After that, since this degree is in high demand, I can likely get a very good paying job around $100,000 per year at a company like Airbus. In this way, I can afford to raise a family, buy a nice 4-bedroom family home, and even a luxury car like a Mercedes. Therefore, I truly believe that one of the best ideas that I've had as of late is to pursue my education abroad in Canada at Toronto University. That would be your Band 9 Part 2 response to this question. Very good job, members. I'm always really impressed, genuinely impressed on the improvements that you're making in your speaking. Okay, Paranjay, your question, what question types does past, present, future work for? Those are questions where the past and the present and the future are asked in the question. There are some questions where they ask you about all of that, okay? But not this one as much, as you can see, okay? All right, so that's it for this part 2. Stay tuned for the next class, which will be part 3, and those will be questions related to this topic, okay? So for all of our viewers, the next class is an all chat class. Everybody will be able to share their answers and ideas. And again, to all of our viewers, make sure to join our premium package to really improve your band scores quickly and effectively, save yourself a lot of stress. Visit us at aehelp.com for academic IELTS and gieltshelp.com for general. I will post this part 2 question and answer in the community chat on the YouTube channel. So make sure to review it and try to repeat this part 2 response in the video a couple of times. The video will be available on the channel as well. That's it for now. See you in 30 minutes for speaking part 3. Great job, members. See you soon.